Right. 9 November 2024. And today I'm going to be giving you my evening updates as we continue with our usual program. And this is going to be ongoing for a very, very long time. We're going to restart our broadcasts. And I would like to give you as much information as possible. And I hope that you like my new look. My kids were so shocked to see me with my new look today. So let's see if you guys are going to like it, but I hope you do. So today I want to restart a clarification process of what is going on in Zimbabwe politically and what is going to be happening within the next few weeks. As I said to you, by the 27th of December, if Mnangagwa does not make changes, he's going to be out of office. There is a crisis brewing in Zimbabwe whereby the whole economy is collapsing. And what is happening is that people were expecting that after Bulawayo, Mnangagwa would then step back and allow the situation to develop. However, what has happened is that Auxilia Mnangagwa has started the process or restarted the process of campaigning again. So Auxilia Mnangagwa is now starting her countrywide tours and the countrywide protests or whatever it is that she's doing to try to outshine and outmaneuver General Chiwenga. So Auxilia Mnangagwa has started giving again the gifts that she was giving. She has started addressing women. She has started addressing local communities, focusing on Masvingo. And Masvingo, as you know, is the home of ED 2030. So today she was out there in Masvingo handing out blankets, handing out cooking oil, and making speeches to women. And as I said this morning, General Chiwenga currently has the war veterans. Auxilia Mnangagwa has the women and the youths. So you're seeing the development of two groups right now, which is the military side and Auxilia Mnangagwa being used by Mnangagwa and the boys as the people that are going to drive their campaign. So you're going to see Auxilia Mnangagwa now is going to be used because the boys have failed, Mnangagwa has failed. They're now going to start using Auxilia again to go after General Chiwenga. And this approach that they're using is going to eventually lead to a clash between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. You're going to see that clash taking place. But at the moment, it's sort of like low key. So this is what has started today. And Auxilia has once again started getting hours and hours on ZBC. She is commandeering the ZBC news desk and she gets up to 10 to 20 minutes just talking about her programs, about herself, which is crazy. It's unbelievable what Auxilia Mnangagwa is doing. And you're going to see this causing a clash with General Chiwenga, who is next in line, who is supposed to be taking over slowly as the president of both ZANU-PF and the government of Zimbabwe. So that is Auxilia Mnangagwa there traveling with Chadzamira. So Chadzamira, kumisha kwake hakuna road, but he's busy with Auxilia Mnangagwa. Chadzamira, I think it's Ezra. He is moving around with Auxilia Mnangagwa. They're trying to gain support at the grassroots, especially in Masvingo. And also Marian Mchombo, I do not know which faction she belongs to, but she's also going around. And I believe that today she was in Chinoy. So the politics of ZANU-PF, of campaigning has started once again after the Bulawayo annual National People's Conference. These people have started, they've come back and they've begun their process. And I'll be taking you through everything that we'll be doing and their plans. Do not think that it's over. This thing is not over. It's going to cause us chaos. That's all I can say. The next 2 months are going to be very interesting and things haven't ended at all. Speaking of Masvingo, Mudara Zobwo, as I said to you, Mudara Rungano Zobwo, today he was speaking and they have managed to train some community radio station, a very respectable professional vice chancellor of the Masvingo or Great Zimbabwe University. He's done very, very well. One of the best university administrators that I've ever seen. Professor Rungano Zobo doing very, very well. I hope that he does even better and gets something else done before he leaves. I understand that it's just about to retire, but I'll try to find you that footage where he's talking about the importance of community radio. And while we are at community radio, I promised last week that we're going to start a housing project for journalists in Zimbabwe. I will soon be announcing the plans of what we're going to do as Zimbabwe. I want every single journalist in Zimbabwe to have a reasonable or a good accommodation. So we're going to work on a project. As you know, I've been working in a lot of projects. We've had a lot of experience in creating projects for people. We are going to create a housing project for journalists. And I want to promise that this project is going to be free and it's going to be in one of the biggest or the best areas in the country. So that is my promise, just to work on what Mdara Zobo has done, which is to train all the community radio journalists around Zimbabwe. So within a short space of time, you're going to hear what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. I think I've covered Auxilia Mnangagwa. Today I want to keep it short. I look not exhausted, but I am extremely exhausted. I have been on the road non-stop for almost 10 days, non-stop. I haven't done anything else. And I want to now do a review of Kenya Airways. So Kenya Airways, this is Kenya Airways. I spent 40 hours in Kenya Airways. And that is, I took here 4 flights this past week with Kenya Airways. And this is what I'm showing you here is the, I suppose, business class of Kenya Airways. I didn't sit here. I'm just showing you. I took this picture just for you to see what it looks like and for the purposes of scale so that you can see what it looks like. This is the business class of Kenya Airways. If you're traveling to the United States of America, Kenya Airways is your best airline that you can use if you're an African and if you want to make changes. So I traveled in Kenya Airways and I was supposed to travel and fly into JFK, which is New York. And this flight only cost me a return of $900 to Cape Town. So I paid $900, which is $450 going and $450 coming back. That's 40 hours of flights. I don't know, it's less than $1, I think, for an hour in this flight. So amazing. Kenya Airways, they're doing very, very well. And I like Kenya Airways because they allowed me to make changes to my flights. I made multiple changes on my flight. So that is Kenya Airways. This is their desk here at Nairobi. And this is the normal, like economy. This is economy in Kenya Airways. And I believe that this is a Dreamliner that we're in. The most comfortable airplane that you can travel in is this Dreamliner. It's like you're not even traveling. That is how good this airplane is. The one that we used from Nairobi to JFK. But I want you guys to realize something that made me laugh. Right, so this is the map of us traveling, right? This is from Kenya, and this is what it looks like when you're in the plane. It shows you all the information right in front of your screen, and you can see how we traveled. And now look at Harare. We flew over Harare, Lilongwe, all the big capitals. This is where we flew. So the whole map, it looks like this. If you're coming to Cape Town, this is what it looks like. But I want to show you something interesting, and I've never seen this before. So we're flying over Kariba here, Matosa Dona. But look at this map here. This is the Bulawayo, Botswana. We went over Botswana. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. But this is it. Can you believe that there's a place called Mashonaland South? So on the map of Kenya Airways, there is a place called Mashonaland South. And this is crazy. I've never seen such a place as Mashonaland South, but extremely good service from Kenya Airways. The food was great, and I really enjoyed being on this plane on Kenya Airways. And I'm going to be flying Kenya Airways for a long, long time to come. I like going into Kenya because once you get into Kenya, you can actually drop off and do a lot of things. It's very cheap in Kenya. The hotels, I think they're like 9,000 of their money, which is about 1,000 rand, or approximately $550. So for $50, you can stay at a pretty reasonable hotel, like a 5-star hotel. The airport itself is comfortable. The transport system is great. Do you know that when you're in Kenya, you can use Uber, and Uber costs only 160 rands to go into town? Then if you're going to use the freeway, you pay the guy about 300 of the money, which is, I don't know, like 10 rands or something like that, so that they can use the freeway and the toll gates. Amazing stuff. So if you're traveling to the United States, I propose that you use Kenya Airways. These guys are good. They don't sponsor me or anything, but I just like the way that they handle themselves. One of the best African airlines in fact, for an African, if you're an African and you want to travel, I suggest that you use this airline, and I hope that Air Zimbabwe gets to this level that is with Kenya Airways. This is extremely big. This space here that you're looking at is extremely big. They allow you 2 bags. So I was allowed 2 bags to check in, and 2 bags on my person. And we ate, I don't know how many times, like every 2 hours or 3 hours, they were coming with fresh food, beef. Their beef is the best beef. So they cook real beef. And all I did was eat beef and drink tonic water on that plane, on this flight. And it was amazing. Kenya Airways, good job, Kenya Airways. And I got my cloth. So my cloth here behind me, this cost me $15. I also got to buy the coffee at Kenya. It was amazing. And very soon I'll be back in the United States of America. I'm going to be in and out of the United States of America, but I will never settle in the United States of America. I've made up my mind that I will not live in the West. But if you want to be a friend of capital, be a friend of the United States of America. The United States of America, that is where you get money. There is a lot of money in New York. And if you want to run a project, that is where you go. You don't go to other countries. So amazing, amazing stuff, amazing flight with Kenya Airways, very friendly people in Kenya. However, if you want to travel into Kenya, you need a visa. So if you are a person who is flying through Kenya, you need a visa into Kenya. So I'm going to show you tomorrow how to apply for a visa into Kenya. I'll take you through the process and I'll upload this video for you. Then our last discussion is on what's happening here with Mumve. So this guy, Mr. Willard Chungwa, is the founder of, or the managing director of Kombucha, Zimbabwe. So I know a lot of you guys use Kombucha. Kombucha, I don't know, I've never used it. I don't know how it works. But I want to talk to every guy who has bought from us the Mumve. I know that it's time for you to restock. So you need to call me and we discuss the restock for this month. However, what we're going to do this month is we're going to give every guy who is buying for the second time 2 packs for the price of 1. So if you call me or WhatsApp me and restock before the end of this month, before the end of November, we're sending you 2 packs for free. But we need to discuss the usage, how you use this thing. The reason why I'm raising this thing is that when I was in the West, I was looking to see what do guys use. How do you get a traditional African medicine? And there's no way to get it. So we're going to put in place a website where you're going to be able to get your traditional medicine. And Mkoma Gabriel says how much? It's $100 inclusive of courier. So we're going to give you for $100 2 packs of Mve. You can get it, and that is your stock for a month. Then we obviously have to make sure that you're using it properly. So chat with me tomorrow and we take it from there. So take this very seriously, because if you run out, munotongwa nemasalad. Manje kutongwa nemasalad azviitawo mana. Especially kwandakaenda overseas, masalad anotonga zvisingaite. And I think I've covered everything. So let's recap. Let's recap what has happened. What has happened is that after the Bulawayo People's Conference of ZANU-PF, Mnangagwa and his family were dazed for a few days, but now they are back. So Auxilia Mnangagwa is back on the campaign trail. She is now campaigning for her sons. You know what is happening. She's campaigning for her sons. She is now going around the country, and today she was in Masvingo. She's campaigning among the women in the grassroots, and she's directly challenging Chiwenga. Chiwenga appeared as if he had totally received all the support from everyone, but Auxilia Mnangagwa is intending to reverse that position. You saw also that Mnangagwa and the boys were in Midlands, and this family is not going to go away. They are going to continue to try to stay in office, and either through the sons or Auxilia herself. So let's see what happens. But Auxilia Mnangagwa has now started moving around with Chadzamira. Uyu Chadzamira kumusha kwake hakuna road. So those are the people that are moving around with Auxilia. I'm surprised, Kuti, Chadzamira, your home has got no road. Why are you moving around with someone who is destroying your country? Mnangagwa, but you walk around with him, and you walk around with Auxilia, campaigning for you to stay longer. I don't get it. I don't get why Chadzamira does it, but he's doing it. So this is what I wanted to say today. Let's look at the comments, and tomorrow I'll be back. Tomorrow is a Sunday, a massive news day. A massive news day, so I'll be with you. So I'm going to Gabriel, WhatsApp me. We don't want to talk about Mve all the time. It's just an information. And Mkoma Fred, thank you very much for welcoming me. We are going to do very, very well. High-speed rail, planned cities, 2 houses for each soldier. That's what we're going to be doing in 2025. So my first my soldier, I've got you hooked up. You're going to do very, very well. A planned city for the soldiers, 2 houses for each soldier, and the rest is from Mnangagwa. We don't want that crazy stuff that Auxilia Mnangagwa is doing. And obviously, as I said, for the guys in the media, each single person who's got a YouTube channel in Zimbabwe, a person who is working in the media sector, a person who's working, doesn't matter if you work for ZBC, we're going to work for you a project. We're coming up with a project where every single journalist in Zimbabwe is going to have a house through a project that we're going to kickstart, and it will be totally free. Last year, I introduced this when we're talking in the groups, the journalists, and very soon it's going to become a reality. So very, very massive plans that we have for everybody. And as I said, I hope you guys like my new look. I sort of lost my weight, a lot of weight when I was overseas, just because of all the walking that I did. It's shocking how 2 days can lose me so much weight. And then Grace Mgabestar, remember Munwese Kuna Amai. I think so. I think that's what she's trying to do, but it's not going to turn out well for her. Munwese Road, 18 April 2025. 18 April 2025, Kurem Goma. What is happening 18 April 2025? So I want to thank all of you for watching. As I said, the United States of America, amazing place. It changes your mind. Please go and look at the video that we did. As I was traveling between New York and Washington, there is a massive number of airports, cities, houses, air bases, anything that you can imagine. The United States is so developed. There is no country in the world that is like the United States of America. Don't listen to lies about the United States of America. That country is doing very, very well. Their systems work. And I'll be showing you a lot of videos that I've taken during the time when I was in America. And if you're a friend of America, you become a friend of capital. So let's make sure that we have a good relationship with the guys in the United States, and we're going to do well. Why 2 houses for each soldier? Is there a strategy to get a buy-in? No, Mkoma. We are going to do a lot with the army. I talked already about the military corps, about a planned city for the military, and 2 houses for each soldier. That is very important. We don't want the soldier. When I was in Washington, soldiers are a pride. Like they wear beautiful uniforms. Everywhere you go in the United States, the military, they're guarding the subway, they are at the airports. They are respected. Soldiers are well respected, and they live a good life. When it's time to go into the train, my soldier or pinned. They've never seen that. They call out and say, anyone in the military, anyone who's a veteran, those guys go first. Then you, the rest of the people, go. So we want our guys to do well. 2 houses for each soldier, a military planned city, military corps, and a tourism-based economy. Zimbabwe is going to do very, very well, and we've got a plan for all this. But as I was saying, today we're talking about Auxilia Mnangagwa. She has resurfaced, and she wants to take over once again on top of what she's done in the past. We need Southern African news. Gambagwe, please. Yes, I'm going to cover Southern African news. I'm going to be looking for President Venanzio Mondlane very soon, and if we manage to get hold of him, we'll be able to talk to him. As you know, the current situation does not permit for him to talk too much. He needs to be stepping back, but we're going to be covering Koma Venanze or Nsekuru Vena as soon as I am able to get hold of him, and we bring him here on Gambagwe or part of his team to talk to us. I've also covered Botswana this morning, so you can go and have a look at what I said about Botswana. And as I said, Kenya is almost my new home now. You can see the cloth of the Maasai that I have here. And I've got a ring. Guys, I don't know if you can believe this. Let's see if you can see this ring. This ring was given to me. Right? Check it out. This is my ring now. I wear it on my finger. So I've got a nice ring. If you guys want one of these, when I go next to Kenya, right? I'm gonna get you a ring like this. This is not gold, this is brass. And the one lady who sold it to me, she's amazing. There's amazing stuff, t-shirts, all sorts of things in Kenya. And at the airport, everything obviously starts at $20 at the Kenya airport. But I had a lot of fun in Kenya. I also got to meet one of my very close brothers who stays in Kenya. And we had a lot of discussions about plans that we have for the future. So amazing stuff, and we're going to do a lot. We're going to do very, very well. And you're all going to see this, as I'm talking about it here, it's going to happen. Because as I said to you, everything is spiritual. Before you win physically, you must win spiritually. And we have won spiritually. We have done it. And the next thing that you're going to see is the realizations of all our plans, especially high-speed rail. The thing that is going to happen with high-speed rail in Zimbabwe is going to be written in history to say, this is how we started high-speed rail, and this is why it did so well. So all the guys who are overseas, you're going to come home, but before you come home, high-speed rail has to work. I felt so touched when I see how our people live in the West. Our people are living some of the most difficult lives. They work all the time, they own nothing, and they are customers and want to make you guys owners. If you are living overseas, I know how painful it is to be in those places. It's not easy. And don't see a picture and not understand what's happening behind. There is a lot that is happening. Africa is our home. And this is where we need to do well. This is where we need to succeed. And we can only do it if we connect to capital. So if we cannot connect to capital, we will not make money. And in Zimbabwe, to do high-speed rail, we need between 30 billion and 50 billion US dollars. We're not talking Mickey Mouse monies anymore. We're talking big, big monies here. So I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I am so sorry that we've not been able to give you coverage. I know that most of you rely on me to give you updates, and some of you can't sleep if I don't broadcast. I got a lot of calls when I was overseas, and guys were saying, Gambagwe, how is it going to work now that you're going to be in the United States? How are you going to be able to stream? Because the times are so different. But the truth is that we're not going to be, I will never be best in the United States. I won't do it. I'll always be here in Africa. And by the way, in Kenya, and South Africa, there is a 1 hour time difference between Cape Town and Kenya. So if it is 12 o'clock in Kenya, in South Africa, it is 11 o'clock. Or in Zimbabwe, it is 11 o'clock. So don't get confused. Every time you talk to the Kenyans, you must know that they're 1 hour ahead of you. So I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you once again in the morning as we give you the Sunday update of all the trending news. Sunday is a very big news day. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.